Hey, this is Sam Black with my third version of this Abzan Collected Company deck in Modern. I'm on the draw with a very good hand, in that I have a turn 1 play and a Seder Wayfinder and an Eternal Witness that might help me end up with a rally. So I will sack this, playing against fairies. My life total matters, but not in a super pressing way. I have a Godless Shrine and a bird. I think it's safe to find a forest here. Cast a Seder Wayfinder. Get a land, put 2 important pieces in a rally in the graveyard. That is kind of ideal. I'll just play this untapped and cast a Viscera Seer. Inquisition, presumably that'll take my Eternal Witness. Alright, let's cast Seder Wayfinder. And cast Safehold Delete. Don't want to attack into Mutavault. So now I have Safehold Delete, Sack Outlet, Malira, and Blood Artist, which is everything. So if my opponent taps out before a draw step of mine, I can use Viscera Seer to try to scry down to a rally to win immediately against fairies. I don't know if it's safe to do that, but if my opponent's tapping down to 1 here, it's very tempting. I don't see that many cards. I think it's probably better to wait, especially since I can profitably attack this turn. I wouldn't be surprised if I get Spell Snared here, so I'll lead with the Bloodthorn Vampire that I care a little less about, not that either of these really matter. Then I'll play Safehold Delete. Get a Swamp, play Viscera Seer. None of my creatures matter. Happy to trade anything for anything. Oh, I guess the Pack Rat can become a 2/2 thanks to the Mutavault to eat one of my creatures, but I really don't care because I'm planning on sacking my creatures to scry for rally anyway. This is the card I'm seeing. I don't want that. Traded a Viscera Seer for a fairy token. Maybe that was wrong. Maybe I should have just scryed instead. But I do want my opponent to tap out. Here, for example, I don't know that scrying is correct. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not. Try another Viscera Seer anyway. Alright, well, think it's fine to attack with all of these. I guess the Mutavault blocks this thing. Maybe I just attack with the Bloodthorn Vampire. Then I'm trading a potential Scry for a Fairy Rogue. Not sure that I want to do that. Yeah, if I attack with anything else, my opponent can just make a Pack Rat and then block with 2 Pack Rats that are 3/3s. So safe hold leads definitely aren't profitable to attack with. So it's just Bloodthorn or no. I guess I'll hold off. And I think that I'm in a spot where I need to scry a little more aggressively. Gather's interesting. Gather could hit Eternal Witness. Just not likely to. I think it's actually good enough to draw. I'm not immediately dying. And it might draw a counterspell if my opponent has one. Miss buy and click. Alright. I guess I'm comfortable attacking with Bloodthorn Vampire here. With Bitter Blossom championed, fairies are a little more finite. Alright. Looking for rally. so next turn, I'm not actually dead because I can block in the air with the bird. My opponent can make one more rat. So my opponent will have 2 rats, misbind click. I can block misbind rat rat, and then block mutavault mutavault, which means that I live. Which means I don't technically have to find a rally right now, but it still might be a good idea. But I can't dig for one and block to live. I think it's better to just try to cast the Gather, have a chance to beta counterspell, maybe just top deck the rally, keep my blockers. The Gather can also help me live. Or I could just top deck rally. Alright, well, there's no reason to go for it right now. Should have had a stop in my opponent's upkeep. I gave my opponent a draw step that I probably didn't need to. Okay, so do I want to do it in response to Serum Visions? Or do I think that my opponent might move all in on an attack here? I've thought long enough that it's unlikely that my opponent will put me on nothing and move in on an attack. But I think I let it resolve. I think I want my opponent to go through combat to maximize my chances of being able to rally, have it countered, and then scry into another rally to win. This is all just a clever distraction to get my opponent to fight over this stuff. The 1 white mana floating lets me rally for 3 instead of 2, which doesn't seem particularly meaningful. It gets a witness, but I win if it resolves anyway. So I think I'm comfortable just letting this resolve and killing both of my opponent's rats. That sounds kind of great. Maybe that was wrong because it cost me scries. Oh, well, that resolved. Okay, cool. I have effects. So I have 3 safe hold leads here, so I'm not really worried about my Blood Artist getting killed in response to one coming back. And my opponent sees what's up. Alright, so Thoughtseize and Abruptica are fine as usual. As usual, cutting cards isn't easy. Suppose I could trim communes, but they seem pretty great. Just gonna play it as is. This hand looks good. I have a bird and a gather, and a witness to get back a spell from the gather. By a spell, I mean the rally that I hope I mill. I'll just forest bird here. Pay life to dismember my bird, having no colored mana. That seems fine to me. I actually meant to get Overgrown Tomb, but apparently I've got the Shrine, which is fine. Means I have double white for rally if my bird dies instead of double green for witness if my bird dies. Obviously not blocking that. Oh, cast some gathers here. Take a Wayfinder. And I guess I'll cast the Wayfinder instead of the gather. Get that green mana. Did not hit another spell to turn on this gather, but of course I don't really need the gather to be on. Cool. Cast gather. Get Satyr Wayfinder. Put 2 rallies in the graveyard. Play this untapped. Witness a rally. That's too bad. On the other hand, my opponent's life. Alright. Yep.